All right. I am re-recording these. I'm re-recording a bunch of these, but I also am re-recording the Kai one for the second time because I made a mistake in the last one, which was I didn't talk about something, or I said something that was like kind of a half-truth. So I'm a Kai player, and a lot of people struggle with a few different things. First things you have to know about Kai is how does this shock state work, which I definitely didn't just mess up a quarter circle. I've been playing fighting games for like 20 years. Okay, so the shock state is something that a lot of players, and there's actually not a lot of people that just like explicitly say how it works. It's not hard to find, but like it's not something that's just brought up that often. What they bring up is so shock state is if you block this move, or this move, and I'm not actually sure. Maybe his this move too. Yes, okay. They all put them in shock state. And what shock state does is it makes his next special move that you either are hit by or block slightly better. So like if I have fireball, notice it does 30 damage. Now it does 33 damage. Hooray! 10% damage bonus. It is nice, right? His frame datas are a little better. They're generally a little better. Most of them don't matter too much, but I'll talk about the points where it does matter. And the first point where it matters a little bit is versus this move. Lots of Kai players use this move a lot, and a lot of people are letting it go unpunished. Now, obviously, this move is still very good. It has a lot of active frames. It has a low profile and hitbox. It can be RC'd to make it safe and also get pressure and also blows up all kinds of stuff. It is a very good move. But it is also like super punishable. It's minus 15. Every character in the game can punish it at all ranges. I have not tested it for every single character, so I don't know what your punish is, but like that's very minus. Every character can. So it is very minus. Now, some characters in shock state, like if I go in here to character specifics and I turn on shock state, and I record this again, Kai can still punish it, but a lot of characters at far ranges can no longer punish it because in shock state it's only minus 10, which means that a lot of the buttons that like they have that reach that far are just not quite fast enough, and so Kai just does not get a punish on it. Like he just like it just doesn't get punished for it. Not that it matters much because if Kai is spending their shock state on this and they're not getting their other options, that's still probably good for you, to be entirely honest. Because shock state's pretty important, to be honest. Mostly because of this move. So this is Kai's. I should probably re-record that because I actually know that there's a. Oh, that's not the right button. I think I got that right. Let me try it. Okay. Oh, that's good. There it goes. Yeah, counter it. Yeah, perfect. Okay. So Kai is he's got this flip kick, and it's a big part of his pressure game. It reads jump back options. It reads backdash. It's a very good option. Now, first off, Kai should not be doing this in neutral. Kai should be doing this to read specific options like jump back button or backdash. But in general, Kai's should not be doing this in neutral because this is like mega hittable. Like mega hittable. You know, like he should explode. It's not it's like Dolphin but way easier to deal with. So now some people are saying 6p this, and yeah, 6p works, but like it hits low enough, so your 6p is actually one of your worst options against it. Mostly because it hits low enough, so 6p is just a kind of slow button. And if you're going to press a kind of slow button, you might as well, like, you know... Oh, I didn't walk up enough. You might as well do your biggest punish, right? You might as well do the button that leads to the most damage. And so it will, you know, like, it's just not very good. If you're having trouble reacting to it, jab it. Jab actually works at pretty much all ranges. Sometimes you'll get a trade at far ranges. But if it's at far ranges and they're doing it... this is very whiff punishable, and I'm definitely, after showing that off, I just missed it, but It is very whiff punishable if it is far away. Like, Kai should not be doing it at this range. It will whiff. And knowing that range is important. But that's not what people are actually struggling with this move. What people are struggling with this move is that. I didn't get the dash up. You see, so I pressed the button to run up, but I didn't get it. But the shock state version of this move is +4 on block, and they're doing this meaty, and it's very scary. And yeah, if you block the shock state version, you have to hold that. He gets a real strike throw mix up there. It's like blocking Soul Far Slash, and you have to just deal with it. But it is, it is worth knowing that there are a couple things to know. First off, in shock state, it is always plus. It's either +4 or +6. And I actually might be wrong about maybe 5 and 7, but I'm pretty sure it's 4 and 6. I should have looked that up since this is take 2. But the normal one is actually minus. So you'll notice I got counter hit there because I mistimed it, but it is -1. So it is technically your turn if you block the standing one, unless you are Faust and Axel, which we'll get to them later. They have some special stuff they can do against Kai too. And in general, the only way that this is not, like, you should stand block it for this reason. If I am crouch blocking it, I get counter hit no matter how I time this. Because it is technically +1 if you are crouching, because it hits later on its active frames. And so then if you are crouch blocking it, he is still plus. It is still technically his turn, although Soul, Geo, and Chip will get out of it for free because their buttons are just faster than Kai's. So it doesn't matter that he's plus. But they're not, like, realistically, what are Kai's doing? They're doing, like, this dash. They're doing, like, this sort of thing, and they're just getting it right there. And that's a big part of what they are doing. And they're doing it in shock state specifically. In which case, you just have to hold it, and, you can react to this move, like with a DP, like you can see it, you can wake up super on reaction to it, and you can also wake up DP, and those are all good options for it. So don't let Kai's do it for free, but it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. Now, as far as other stuff, a lot of Kai players are doing this. Now, this is technically -11, but, like, look at that range. You're not, like, unless you are Axel or Ram, and I think they're the only ones, you're not going to get a punish on this. Unless you instant block it, which is, right, that is a punish, but I would not recommend practicing this very much, mostly because Kai can do that and that. There is a lot of variation in their strings, and it is very hard to get that timing precise enough to instant block it. I wouldn't really open Pandora's box of allowing Kai that option to just mess with timing. I would go for more reliable options like this, which I'm not going to get now. Apparently I did it too tight in that one. But if they stagger it, you just kind of fuzzy backdash, and it will make it whiff, and then you get your punish. That's an easier option to do. And the other stuff is, a lot of Kais are still misspacing this move. Like, they're still going, like, at this range, they're just doing this, and it's just barely whiffing, because they're just not that sure of the range. If it whiffs, it is mega unsafe, and it's very easy to react to the whiff. So you probably don't even need to practice it, but I'll punish him if that happens. This move is, all that sort of stuff. And it does lead to stuff. Like, he gets whatever meaty he wants. He can get his instant jump, safe jump. He can get charged on edge. He can get flip kick. He can get 5K or 2P. So, like, he gets whatever meaty he wants, whatever the Kai wants to do on this knockdown, is there. Now, the other stuff to pay attention to is Fireball. Something to know, and I see this is something that top players have already long since figured this out, but a lot of newer players are thinking of this like Akuma or Ryu or Kai from older games, and they're thinking that they kind of have to hold these. Now, I'm going to hold up so you can see how fast I can react. There is a full second that I'm in counter hit state. Like, it's bad on whiff. If this stuff whiffs, he gets whatever he wants. And it is like it's super punishable on whiff. Like, now if it whiffs and you're on the outside of it, you're probably not going to be able to run up and get there, but you are going to be able to close a lot of ground. And Kai will not be able to stop you from closing a lot of ground. So these options, although they are still very good, they are strong options. They are super punishable on whiff. Like, they are so punishable that I was playing a set with a friend, and I started my move. They whiffed super, and I still got counter hit. And that's absurd, right? Like, this move is so punishable, and this one is not less punishable. At point blank range, if I turn this on, it is still punishable by most characters. So if I turn on block, and I do a close range thing, I still get punished. Even at like this range, if the far slash will reach, I get punished. Which apparently I'm just a bit of a liar, but whatever. It is punishable at a lot of ranges by a lot of characters. Characters with fast far normals like Ram and Axel can punish it very reliably. But that's not to say that it is a bad option or that Kai's fireballs suck in this game. They are still very good. They do control this space amazingly well. Now, they can be reacted to and they can be jumped over, but this is still a fireball. It is completely disjointed. It will beat whatever button it goes against. So it is still a very strong poke, and it's still Kai's best poke. It's just a much higher risk poke than it was in older games. Now, the last stuff that you have to know is just how to deal with Kai's buttons. And this is kind of general Guilty Gear stuff, but Kai has some of the best pokes in the game. Like, these things, they're big. These are huge. This button's huge. This button's huge. And just kind of knowing how your character can react to them is very important. Now, every far slash in the game that hits this kind of area, you can 6P them if you know when they're coming. But more reliably, you can whiff punish it. This move, like a lot of these moves, have a lot of lingering time, and you can whiff punish them pretty reliably. It's not even that hard in this game. It's not like Street Fighter where it's sometimes really tight to whiff punish things. A lot of these options, they hang for quite a while, and you can definitely whiff punish them and do it on reaction for these big buttons. Now, you have to be looking for it. What I mean by on reaction is you're not expecting them to whiff it, and then they whiff it, and then you should get the punish. No, that's not the case. If you expect them that they might whiff it, or you're looking for them to whiff it, you should be able to react to it if you are looking for it. That's what I mean by on reaction. Now, this is probably his best poke. It is hard to whiff punish because it's actually pretty fast. It is a little bit disjointed. And it's one of the furthest lows in the game for its speed slot. It's one of the best 2S's in the game. This move is very disjointed, and so like it's not going to lose to a button at this range. Like, you can't even 6P it. And this button is super fast. So a lot of it is how do you deal with what the Kai is looking to do? Is the Kai looking to approach? Is the Kai looking for you to approach? Is the Kai looking to catch you low? And kind of rotating through what the Kai is paying attention to is a big part of dealing with him. Because Kai players, they are scrapper boxers. They will look for what you are looking for, and they will try and beat it. If he's the kind of jack of all trades characters, if he knows what you're going to do, or he has a guess at what you're going to do, he always has an answer. He is never in a position that Kai can do nothing. And that's a big part of why he doesn't really lose any matchups by a wide margin. Now, debatably, he loses to Ram. Might lose to Leo. He might lose to Faust. But that's all kind of like it's not very clear that that's actually the case. And that's mostly because like Kai has legitimate counterplay for everything. Just because they get an extra punish here or there, or they get out of a certain Oki setup, does not mean that the matchup is bad. It just means that you have to do different things. Now, I think that is pretty much everything. This one's a little bit longer, and that's partly because like I am a Kai player, and so I know a little bit more about the character than I know about most characters. Although obviously I play everyone because I have to. That's how you are good at games, is you study and know what every single character can do, and that's very important. But that is the core of how to fight Kai, and I hope that people found this useful. In general, people aren't struggling too much with Kai because he's just kind of a basic kit, and most people have fought it before. But some specifics go a long way. And so I hope this helps someone. It's a little bit too long, so sorry, but, regardless, have a good day, and bye for now.